Hi guys, we're on to our next home workout video. So as I've said a couple times, make sure as you are starting these workouts, you are warmed up, whether it be a full cardio workout, running, using an elliptical, stair stepper, or whatever it may be, or just going for a walk around the block, something like that. You should be warmed up at the time of starting this. We never want to do the strength training while your body's cold, while we're not warmed up. So keep that in mind. Definitely do at least a 5 to 10 minute warm up before doing these workouts. Other than that, again, no equipment necessary for this workout. Just you. Feel free for those of you that do have weights to add on to it. Again, even if it's those makeshift weights, things lying around the house like water bottles or canned goods, bags of potatoes, whatever it may be. Otherwise, no equipment necessary. Let's get you guys going. So, first exercise here, we're gonna do a forward stepping lunge with a rotation. So, you're gonna take a nice big step forward. We're gonna drop down into our lunge, and I'm gonna rotate over my front leg. I'm gonna bring it back into the middle and then drive back through that front foot through the heel. So again, as always with lunges, whether we're stepping forward or backwards, we want a big enough step so that as we go down, we have that nice angle of my leg here. If I take too small of a step forward as I go down, that knee's really gonna shoot forward. A lot of times we're gonna shift that weight onto the toe. We don't want that. So a nice big step forward, down, rotate over that front foot, and then drive back through that heel. So again, the front foot in a lunge is always the one pushing through. I'm coming down, I'm twisting, I'm driving back through that front foot through the heel. So this is one of those for some of you that do have knee issues. If you're starting to do this and right off the bat, you're kind of feeling it a little too much in the knee and you're pushing through the heels, doing all those form cues to make sure that we're pushing through the heel. We're not taking too short of a step. If you're still feeling it in your knee, go into the reverse stepping lunge and do the same exact thing. So if I'm working that left leg, I'll step reverse, I'll twist over my front leg, and I'll come back up. Otherwise, let's do this one stepping forward just to give you guys that different variation than what we've been doing for the other home workout videos. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through 15 of these all on one leg. That way we can fatigue the one leg, twist to that one side. We'll go 15 on one leg before we switch to 15 on the other leg. Easy one if you guys have a weight here, just hold on to this. This is one I've had a lot of people do, holding on to one of our medicine balls. An easy one right here, twist, and back. So as you're seeing me do, make sure we're breaking up the movements. I don't want this to be a simultaneous lunge and twist. I want you to lunge down, get the tension in the leg, do that full rotation, and then come back. Let's work on that balance here. So again, 15 with one leg before we move on to 15 with the other leg. Now the next one here, we're gonna go into a little yoga move. You're gonna be down on our knees and our hands here. We're in a nice position with our shoulders straight above our wrists, and then our legs kind of hip straight above the knees here. Simultaneously, we're gonna reach our opposite arm, opposite leg. Nice and far out here, we're gonna get a big stretch. We're gonna squeeze that core, and we're just gonna come right back into our starting position before we switch right here. And then down. Switch out and down, and alternate and down. Let's get that hold every time here, guys. Now, for those of us that don't have great balance, you're gonna feel that this is a little tough at the beginning. As you start to get the hang of it, it'll get a little bit easier. But let's get that squeeze each time so that we're really working the core, working on our balance here as we do this stretch. If we're just pushing through here, it's gonna be really easy. We want to get that squeeze of the core every time we reach out as we go out there. Now, for those of you, you do the first set and you're like, that was super duper easy. All you have to do is bring those knees up off the floor, and that'll make it a little bit more difficult here. Out and in, out and in, out and in. And for those of you that do have wrist issues with carpal tunnel, you could just go down onto the knuckles here and get the same effect through it. So again, we're gonna alternate here, 15 each side, so 30 total reaches there. 15 each, so 30. Third one here, we're going into our bicycles. So coming up here, we're gonna have our shoulders elevated off the floor. I'm gonna use my hands here just to support my neck. As always, like when we do crunches or anything else, I'm not gonna pull on my neck. I'm gonna use my hands to support my neck. I have my legs up here, and all we're gonna do, nice and slow. I'm sure everyone at this point has done some kind of bicycles, the exercise. I want you guys to go nice, slow, under control here. We're not gonna do this timed, we're gonna do this for reps. So I want you guys to go slow, get a squeeze. Squeeze, a small hold each time, boom. So I'm kicking that other leg out as I twist to the knee coming in. Twisting to the knee coming in, I'm getting a small pause, I'm feeling the tension, we're working the upper abs, the lower abs here, the whole thing, focusing on the balance, and we're doing 15 each side, so 30. So as with the rest of the home workouts, I want you guys to go through all 3 before you get your rest. Do the lunge with the rotation, 15 with one leg, go right into 15 with the other leg. We'll drop down right into those reaches, alternating 15 each, and then right into the bicycles, alternating 15 each, there. So that's our first circuit. You guys will get a rest. First set of our first circuit, do a rest, do your second set, rest, and then your third set. All right, next one here, we're gonna go into our sumo squats. So, obviously we've done tons of squats at this point. We're gonna be working really mainly focusing on the insides of our legs here, those inner thighs with these sumo squats. So you're gonna get a nice wide stance here. It should definitely be wider than shoulder width, and we have those toes pointed out a little bit. Now you shouldn't be too crazy wide here like we had when we did these things. You should not be that wide. We should be just wider than the shoulders. Toes are pointed out. We're gonna keep that chest up as we drop down. I'm keeping those knees out here. I'm not letting them cave in. Keeping those knees out, sitting my butt back, driving through the heels. Now each time I want you guys to get a 2-second hold at the bottom. Feel the tension in there before we push up. So again, I wanna make sure as I do this, those knees don't come forward. I'm sticking my butt back, sitting back into that chair. 2-second hold before I come up. Again, let's feel the tension in those inner thighs here before we push it up. For those of you holding weights, this is an easy one. Either hold the weight up here or down here. We're dropping down, feeling that tension, and up. We're gonna go 15 here with a 2-second hold at the bottom each time. Right after that, we're gonna go into our close grip push-ups. So this one's gonna get a little more focus on the triceps as opposed to our normal push-ups out here that are getting mostly chest with a little bit of tricep work. This one's gonna be mostly tricep with a little bit of chest work here. So it is more difficult than our normal push-ups. For those of you that have been able to get those 15 push-ups consecutively, I want you to start off trying to do these up top. So again, these will be tougher, but let's try and start off with our push-ups up top first here. So I have my hands nice and narrow here, about shoulder width, no wider than that. No wider than shoulder width. I'll pop up, and I'm mainly gonna focus on keeping those elbows tucked in as I come down and up. Down and up. I'm keeping those elbows nice and tucked in here. As I drop it down and up, I'm not letting them go out. When we're doing these push-ups out here, they kind of come out, stand in line there. We're not allowing that. We're keeping everything in tucked here. Now for those of you, as I mentioned, these are tougher. For those of you that are gonna drop down to the knees, kind of same form as normal push-ups. We're down on the knees, we have the feet up, but we wanna make sure our hips are down here. Far too often when I have people pop down from here, they kind of bring it down to the knees, and then the butt stays up. You end up getting more of like a shoulder workout here. We need those hips to come down with us. So have the feet up in the air, you can cross them, leave them out, whatever you want here. But make sure those hips come down to the floor before we push it up. Not this, we want this. So again, every time making sure the elbows stay nice and tucked here, nice and tucked with the elbows before I push up. So let's go for 15 there. Again, for those of you that have been able to get 3 sets of 15 push-ups regular, start off up top. For those of you that have not, that push-ups may be a little more difficult for you, go down to the knees, but again, make sure the hips are coming down with us and really mentally focus on working those triceps as we're coming down and up here. So we're gonna go 15 on those close grip push-ups, and then we're gonna do a plank exercise here, working the obliques with it. So, plank position, as always, we're staying nice and even here, no butt up in the air, nice and even. We're gonna widen our feet out a little bit more on this than normal, and we're gonna swing our hips. So I'm gonna drop down to this side, I'm gonna come up, kind of drop down to this side. So I'm not bringing my feet off the floor or anything like that here. I'm keeping my feet on the floor as I do this, and I'm just gonna bring my hips down towards the floor, come up, and down towards this side. I'm keeping everything under control. Both my feet are staying on the floor. I'm staying on my toes. I'm not moving my feet at all. I'm staying nice and engaged here as I drop down and drop down. So we're just alternating 15 each side, so 30 there. So again, guys, do all 3 exercises of this circuit before taking your rest. We have the sumo squats for 15 with the 2-second hold. We have close grip push-ups for 15, and then we have those plank swings, 15 each side for 30. Go through 3 sets of that. Now our third circuit right here. First exercise, we're gonna do a more cardio intensive one here. So we're gonna do some high knees. So this is a good one for those of you that aren't gonna be running beforehand. If you're gonna be trying to do more of a dynamic warm-up, this is a really good exercise. Like I said, it's gonna get the heart rate going, gonna keep some core engagement, a lot of balance going on here. So a lot of good things that come out of this. So high knees, all I want you guys to do is hold your arms straight out. We're gonna stand up nice and tall here, and we're gonna kick those knees up. Now, just because it's called high knees, don't go all crazy with this, trying to kick yourself in the head. We just wanna bring those feet up, just like we're running in place. My hands are up. I'm gonna start off here, boom, boom, boom. Kicking up, keeping those toes pointed up in the air here. Just keeping that going. So you're gonna count to 50 here. 50 total knees. So each time we kick one up, we're gonna count. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way to 50. It's gonna get that heart rate going. You might need a little bit of rest after this one, but just like the other circuits, I want you to try and go 1, right into the next, right into the next. So we're going for 50 on those high knees. For some of you that is maybe a little bit too intense, maybe too much impact on the knees or whatever it may be, we can modify it just by this, hands up. And we're gonna do kind of standing bicycles here, like that. I want you to keep the motion going. We're gonna go all the way to 50 there. But I want you guys to try and do it with those high knees. Gonna get that heart rate spike up a little bit more. So, after the high knees, we're gonna go in and try and do full sit-ups here. So, as opposed to our crunch, which is the small movement, just a little bit here, bringing the shoulders up, keeping the lower back down, we're gonna come all the way up with our sit-up. So just like our crunches, either have your hands crossed here or behind our head. If they are behind our head, it is for support, not pulling on the neck. So I don't want your hands out here, because then what we're gonna do is end up using the hands to throw ourselves up. I want the abs to do the work. The upper abs, the lower abs are both gonna be engaged here. So from here, I'm gonna push up and really resist it as we're coming down. Fighting that pull on the way down. Even if you end up getting tired towards the end, and you kind of got to use the arms to push up a little bit, get that little bit of assistance, really fight it on the way back, trying to keep a nice neutral spine, resisting that gravity pull coming down. That's going to really work the abs. So again, even if we kind of getting tired, we have to use those arms to come up, nice and slow on our way back, feeling the tension, up, nice and slow on the way back, feeling that tension. We're gonna shoot for 15 sit-ups here. For some of you that may have the lower back pain, the sit-ups are a little too tough. One, you can always have someone hold your feet down, put a weight on your feet to hold them down, or just bring it into regular crunches here. But let's try try to start off with these sit-ups, see what you guys got. Let's shoot for 15 reps. Even if you get 10 on those sit-ups, you can't do another one and have to finish off with 5 crunches. Let's go for 15 here, shooting for as many sit-ups as we can. And then our third exercise, we're gonna go work in our obliques again here. We're gonna do, I call these heel reaches. You can call it whatever you want. All you're gonna do is start off here on the floor, same way as we did for the previous exercise for the sit-ups. You're gonna use one hand to support your neck here. We're gonna keep those shoulders elevated off the floor, and from there, I'm gonna reach down towards my heel. Down and up. Down and up. So I'm keeping this hand here supporting my neck. I'm keeping the other hand down, kind of keeping my shoulders off the floor, keeping those abs activated. So a lot of you that I've had do this before, I've told you there's kind of different ways to do it. You can either keep the hand nice and close towards that foot as we go down. Some people find this more effective when they're reaching further out here. So if you have to mess around with it, feel free to. I personally, and I found most clients feel this best when they're keeping the hand nice and close to that heel, nice and close right here, as opposed to a far reach. But everyone is different. Different people are gonna find this more effective different ways. So I want you to do 15 down to one side. You can get a rest after that point if you need. Again, our shoulders should be up the whole time, so the abs are gonna be activated. So if you need a small rest after the 15 to one side, take it before we go into the other one, especially after the sit-ups. The abs are gonna be activated here. So a lot of core exercises during for this workout. So again, for the third circuit here, we started off with those high knees, shooting for 50 there. Again, if you need the modification, kicking across, 50 total. Then we're going into the sit-ups for 15, and then the heel reaches, 15 to one side, and then 15 to the other side. All right, guys, so again, 3 sets going through there. That is our next home workout video. Again, no equipment necessary. Now, the next video I'm gonna get out for you guys is gonna be an in-home with some of those silly items around the house that you can use for weights. So you'll see, while I do it, it looks silly, it feels silly, but it's gonna help so that we are keeping the muscles working in a different way. You guys are used to doing these exercises with weights here, so adding on the weight is gonna be beneficial to you guys, strength-wise, everything like that. So I'm gonna do one at the house, using some different things around the house to use as weights. Other than that, please do not hesitate to reach out with me if you guys need any other modifications. If anything is too easy, too hard, anything like that, do not hesitate to reach out with me. And as I mentioned in the email, I'm gonna be working on getting a lot of you scheduled for Zoom workouts. So that way I can follow along with you guys as you're doing these workouts, making sure you're doing them correctly, give you modifications on the fly if you need them. All right, guys? Otherwise, again, if you need me, email me, Facebook message me, whatever it is, and I will talk to you all soon.